Well, hello everyone. This is Tom Benson with Spectrum Controls, and hopefully I'm recording this a little bit ahead of time, but hopefully by the time you are watching this, we've all taken these and thrown them over our shoulder because we won't need them anymore. Welcome to this presentation for ROKLive. We're going to be talking a lot about Micro800 controllers with Rockwell Automation and Spectrum Controls partnership with Rockwell on additional I/O modules and other modules that help to broaden the scope of solutions that you can receive from Rockwell and Spectrum on the Micro800. I'll add a few words about the other products that we offer in the marketplace. We've been a 30-year partner with Rockwell Automation, and for every one of those years, unfortunately you can tell by the gray hair, every one of those years I've been a part of that partnership. It's been a terrific partnership with Rockwell Automation. We've done great things together, and we can offer you, our customers, some very, very good solutions. We make products that really fall into three different categories. I/O modules is probably our number one. We also make gateways for communications, and we also have taken over from Rockwell Automation the InView marquee display product line. This is the large displays that come anywhere from a 2-inch up to a 9-inch high display, up to 6 feet wide, very high visibility inside of a factory, very rugged, and made to last a long time inside of the factory applications. All of our products you would purchase through your local Rockwell Automation distributor. In Europe, you have two options. You may purchase our products through your local Rockwell Automation distributor, but in Europe, Rockwell is our distribution partner. All of our products are available through the Rockwell warehouse in the Netherlands. You, if you are a direct purchase customer from Rockwell Automation, can log into their order entry system, and all of our products will be available to you through the SAP order entry system in Europe. So we have a number of ways that you can purchase our products. Another very important aspect to our tight relationship and partnership with Rockwell Automation is the fact that all of our I/O products and our marquee displays, the InView products, are supported through Rockwell's TechConnect Support program. The TechConnect program, for those of you that don't know, is the telephone support system. For customers of Rockwell, you need to have a contract with Rockwell to use that system. But here's the one exception. For Spectrum Controls, we fund the TechConnect support for all of our I/O modules and our InView displays. So when you have an issue with one of our modules, one of our products, you simply need to call Rockwell Automation's TechConnect contact line. There's a special option for you to choose Spectrum Controls products, and you will get totally free support for all your technical needs on the Spectrum Controls products that we make. Our products span 9 Rockwell platforms. We make our universal analog input module that we'll talk about in a little bit more detail later on all those 9 platforms. On 2 platforms, the Point I/O and the Compact Logix I/O, we make analog input and output modules that support HART communication technology for process types of customers, especially for Point and Compact Logix. That would be machine builders and process OEM customers that need to gather additional technical information from their instruments or send the information to instruments for configuration and setup, and our modules are uniquely positioned to allow you to do that. In addition, we have a lot of specialty I/O. We make high density modules, both analog and discrete, combination analog modules, RTD modules, thermocouple, channel-to-channel isolated modules, communications, and much more. So we make a lot of modules to help solve your problems in the field. We really are Rockwell's #1 innovation partner. And we're very, very proud of the fact that for the HART analog modules with input and output analog modules with HART communications capability, since we first introduced HART technology into I/O modules for programmable controllers, and we were the first to do so, we've sold over 2 million I/O points with HART communications capability. That is really quite a feat. And we have, as I mentioned earlier, many flexible and high-density I/O solutions, but we really have seamless compatibility because we acquire from Allen-Bradley, from Rockwell, through the Encompass program. It's such a unique program. We get the support of Rockwell through licensing of the technology that's used in Rockwell's own products. We embed that licensed technology into our products, and it makes this seamless compatibility with the Rockwell and Allen-Bradley controllers that you do not get from any other partners outside of the Encompass program. So for Micro800 modules, we have a variety of things that we can do for you. The basic Micro800 controller, if you probably are familiar, the basic controller comes with embedded I/O. There's already discrete inputs and outputs in those controllers. You can add additional modules. In the picture on the right, the top right, you can see 3 rectangles there. Those are plug-in modules that go into a Micro800 controller. And on the lower picture, you can see a lineup of 8 different modules off to the right-hand side of that controller. Those are expansion modules. So 2080 is the class for the plugins, the 3 you see up above, and 2085 is the class number for the expansions. Spectrum Controls offers a variety of plugins. We have a micro SD memory module, a backnet module that can make your Micro800 controller act as a slave in a building automation system, universal analog, as we've talked, and more. On the expansion side, we really concentrate on high density there. We have 16 channel analog inputs. We have 32 channel discrete outputs. We've got an 8 channel analog output and a variety of other modules that fit into the expansion I/O side. So let's talk a little more detail about the universal analog input that we discussed earlier in the presentation. For the Micro800, we offer 4 channel plug-in modules and 8 channel expansion modules for universal analog input. And the unique aspect of universal analog input is that we feature the ability for every channel on the module to be individually configurable as current inputs, voltage, thermocouple, RTD, and resistance inputs. This is something you will not find in most of the programmable controller world. We were the ones that really invented this capability in programmable controllers, and just recently other manufacturers have started to copy Spectrum Controls' unique design to achieve this. And what it does, it allows you, especially when you have small counts, small numbers, especially on the temperature side, it's quite often that you might have 2 thermocouple inputs, but in most programmable controllers, you have to buy a thermocouple module that might have 8 channels. You connect 2 thermocouples and you have 6 empty channels, using up valuable space in your rack system or in your cabinet. And then the rest of your inputs might be current loop or voltage inputs. Then you can go ahead and add those modules, and you all of a sudden have a system that is requiring more space than you would otherwise have required. With our universal analog input design, you can add those 2 thermocouples to a module, and then the rest of the points on the module can be your traditional 4 to 20 milliamp or 0 to 10 volt inputs, and you save the cost and space of buying extra modules and the cabinet space that's required. All of these are individual configurable input types. One of our newest modules for the Micro800 is our memory module with the plug-in Micro8 the 820 class plug-in variety. It goes on the front of the controller. And the memory module is something that came because Rockwell approached us. They have a micro SD memory slot that is in the Micro820 controller. That micro SD slot allows the customers to do data logging and recipe functions and backup and restore of their CPU programs. Rockwell decided not to include the memory slot option on the Micro830, the Micro850, and the Micro870 controllers. So Rockwell approached us to create a plug-in module that would replicate what they already have on the Micro820, plus we've added this real-time, this fourth bullet over here, the real-time clock capability with a battery backup. This is very unique. Even in the Micro820, if you lose power, there's a 2 or 3 days, 5 days, I don't remember what it is, you have some time with a capacitor backup to maintain that program or maintain the real-time clock time. But with ours, you can actually add an optional battery that can give you up to 1 year of backup. This allows you to do a record a new program or data with the battery in the module. You can unplug the module from the controller. You can ship it across the world to another location and still be retain all of that data on that module without having to do anything special. It's really a unique capability. All the configuration and setup of these file structures for the data logging and the recipe functions are through Connected Components Workbench, known as CCW. CCW allows you to do all of that through our Micro800 plugin module called the Micro SD plugin. On the analog output side, an expansion module that's available for the, this is on the expansion side. We have a combo module, and it's got 4 channels of analog input and 4 channels of analog output on the same module. Again, it's the same theory. If you have a couple of each inputs and outputs, instead of having to buy 2 modules, you buy 1 module, and you have all of these ranges, 0 to 20 milliamp, 4 to 20, 0 to 5 volts, 0 to 10 volts, and plus or minus 10 volts. All those ranges are available for you to be applied on this module. And it has noise filtering capability to adjust to your local situation. And it's a high resolution module, 16 bits of resolution. So this module can be applied in some fairly precise types of applications in your plant. On the high density side for RTDs, we make an 8-channel RTD module. It's compatible with 2, 3, and 4-wire RTDs. There are 12 different RTD ranges. You can see them listed here. And we have 4 resistance ranges. So if you have a resistance input that you want to apply, you can do that as well. Also a 16-bit resolution, so highly precise for most applications. On the output side, for discrete types of outputs, and we talked a little bit, we'll be talking a little bit about these applications as we get into the presentation, but we have a 32-channel 24-volt DC discrete output module. This is available as either a syncing or a sourcing version. There's an LED for every output, so you know the status of every output by just a glance at the module itself. And the 32 channels are divided into 2 groups of 16 channels with isolation that allows you to have different power supply conditions in the plant without having to worry about crossing over between the 2 different common power supplies. Micro800 and the family itself has grown over time. The newest controller is the Micro870. It's a line extension to what has already been available. It has the same embedded inputs and outputs that the other controllers have, supported by CCW. Software release number 12 is required for the Micro870. And the nice part about the Micro870 is it allows up to 8 expansion I/O modules, as opposed to the complementary Micro850, where you can get up to 4 expansion modules. So, some application-specific plugins for Encompass partners. The release 12 of the firmware allows our micro SD memory module to be used on the 830, 850, and 870. And it has the backup restore capability, the data logging, and the recipe function. And the optional, memory aspect, the micro SD card, is something that you buy separately. Rockwell indeed has in their own catalog a 2 gigabyte version of a micro SD card that you can purchase, or you can buy on the open market, and there's specification guidelines in our user manual that tells you what you need to buy. But you can put in up to a 32 gigabyte micro SD card that you buy on the open market if you care to do so. Our plan is to also offer a 32 gigabyte card in our catalog, so that'll be an option for you as well. The Connected Components Workbench software, the CCW itself, has some very nice additions as of late. We have a simulation mode that you can use for code development and training and demonstrations. You can do optimization on your Micro870 for your expansion I/O. And more, the CCW software is bringing in logics like instructions and logics like security into the software. The controller's fault handling and the ability to auto restart without an operator intervention is a very nice addition. Back to the data logging and recipe function, and then the source code protection for all of you OEMs out there that want to protect your intellectual property on machines that you ship around the world. You have that option. This is a bit of an eye chart, but it shows you that there are 15 different modules in the lineup from Spectrum Controls. The first 5, 1 through 5, are plugins, the 2080 class modules that we offer, and 6 through 15 are the expansion modules under the 2085 class that we offer. A very broad array of products that can help you solve issues in the real world. And speaking of, the real applications for our modules are very, very broad. The very good processing horsepower from the Micro800 and CPU and the small footprint that it takes is space and cost saving. OEMs that are looking to build small and medium-sized machines are constantly looking to make that footprint small, make it as small as possible. And you, at the same time, if you had an application where you wanted to control a large number of solenoids, I mentioned earlier the 32-channel discrete output module, you could control with one module up to 24 solenoids in a material handling kind of application with a single module from Spectrum Controls to be able to do that. Along with our high-density analog and discrete modules with the Micro850 and Micro870, many very large applications can be solved in a very, very small footprint. So position your solution strongly against your competitors. If you've got Siemens, Omron, Mitsubishi, Schneider, it doesn't matter. All of the competition out there is going to be looking at the Micro800 as a very, very strong competitor against what they offer in the marketplace. So, size matters. Saving space matters. Let's take a possible application where there are 14 discrete inputs and 10 discrete outputs. Those could be handled inside of the Micro800 controller that you see on this slide. In addition, the expansion I/O, the 3 modules that you see over there to the right, could be 3 of the Spectrum modules, a 16-channel analog input, an 8-channel analog output, and a 16-channel thermocouple input module. All of these could be mated with the Micro800, either the Micro850 or Micro870. And then for the 3 plugins on the front, excuse me, you could be using, of course, our memory module to do your recipe and data logging and backup and restore. You can add a BACnet module if you're in a building automation kind of an application where you need to make the BACnet, make the Micro800 controllers a slave inside of a BACnet system. You can access lots of data back and forth between the Micro800 and the building automation system. And then we might have a 4-channel thermistor input module for measuring some, some building temperatures. Again, you could make this either through a Micro850 or a Micro870. And the total solution comes in at just about 3.5 inches by 12 inches and a depth of just under 4 inches inside of the cabinet. As I said, very, very space saving. So for this presentation, lots of takeaways for you to consider. The 15 modules that we make for Rockwell under their Encompass program and really help you create a lot more solutions for your system than you would otherwise be able to. The microSD memory module is certainly one you should be remembering and taking away with the real-time clock, and the battery backup gives you a very solid solution for doing data logging and recipe functions. Our universal analog and the flexibility that it brings for you, the high density on both the discrete and the analog side, many, many combinations that give you a real solution for your machine kinds of applications. I touched on it briefly at the beginning, but here on the top right, you can see on the top on the right-hand side is 2 photos. The one with the 5 ports out of the front is our universal industrial gateway that has 4 serial ports, 1 Ethernet port, and it supports up to 12 protocols in one box. That could mean that you could be connecting a Modbus TCP IP controller and a Rockwell Ethernet IP controller over to 4 Modbus devices in the field, or a Modbus device and a DF1 device. All of those interconnections of those controllers and exchanging tags between the controllers and the remote devices could be happening simultaneously in one box all at the same time. We offer one with the 4 serial ports on the right and 2 serial ports on the left with the 1 Ethernet port. Multiple network support inside of one box. Everything is configured very simply in software, and this is all embedded in the controller. It's all web-based, browser-based configuration. You don't have to buy any software to make this happen. And then, of course, our in-view marquee displays. We make those displays, as I mentioned earlier, in a variety of sizes. The 4 and 9-inch displays come in full color, as you see in the photo there. And then the 2-inch display is monochrome, and the 7-inch display is either a monochrome or tricolor display. Any of those are very rugged displays that can go into an industrial application and serve your needs very, very well to share information into the factory without having to do anything in particular. Hi everyone, thanks for sticking around. From the original presentation on June 10th, we had a little bit of feedback indicating that it would be nice to have some idea how the universal modules are configured through CCW. And so we have created a few slides to just give you the overview. For the plugins, the 2080 modules, it's a matter of going to the user manual for the 2080 modules. And in the user manual, there is a table that allows you to define whether you're enabling a particular channel, what filter frequencies are, then choosing an input type for the universal analog input, and then some specific module options associated with RTD and thermocouple. And so here is the slide that indicates that in particular. And then after you have defined the bit pattern associated with that table, you would go into the least significant byte and the most significant byte, the LSB and the MSB at the top of that table, and you would record the bits associated with each of those bytes. Then you would calculate the actual decimal value, and then you would create some structured text programming in your CCW programming software and insert the decimal values that come from the table into the structured text to do the configuration for those plugin modules. On the 2085 Universal Analog, we actually have a software utility that we've created called the Module Configuration Converter, or MCC. So for 2085, you simply go to our website and download the MCC software, load that software into the same directory where your CCW programming software is stored. After you start CCW, you open MCC, and you go in, and through the pick list of the module choices, you would select our universal analog input, the 2085 SC-IF8U, and a screen will appear that then allows you to define for each respective channel all of the aspects, whether it's a current loop module, a voltage input, RTD, thermocouple, etc., etc. You would make the choice on each respective channel for what is going to be connected to that channel. And once you've made those choices, then the configuration table for CCW will be populated with all of the choices that you've made and give you the feedback that's necessary for you to keep track of all of the universal analog information. So with that, that's the last of our slides. Again, thank you for sticking around a few more minutes. This has been a great opportunity to interact with all of you. Thank you.